This week, I'm thankful for phones. Yeah, I know, smartphones are bad for you, all this other stuff. There's a ton of videos about it. Look, I do generally agree that if you spend too much time on your phone, it's like a bad thing, but I'm. This fruit fly is gonna make me crash out 1 sec. I missed. I missed. Whatever. Um, I understand. Phones are bad for you. I'm talking about their intended purpose of calling other people. That's great. That's super convenient. I love that. I mean, I was just talking with someone on the phone, and it's nice because, well, this person lives a little bit further from me. I can't just casually talk in person. It's a few hour drive to go see this person. But I can talk to them on the phone, hear their voice, just kind of laugh, chill out. And it's nice that I even have that as an option. It's nice that I actually have that. I understand. But look, all the other stuff that's been added to phones, that's not really a phone. That's just making that's just adding computer stuff into what a phone was originally meant for, which is talking to other people, hearing their real voice, having a real conversation. That's what I'm talking about. That's the real reason I'm thankful for phones. Okay, and I understand there's things like voice chat and all that, and that can be pretty nice too. But I gotta say, there's just something. Oh, nice! I'm already cooking a bunch of stuff. There's just something really nice about getting to call someone and actually, walk around and do stuff. Granted, you can walk around with like headset. I actually do that when I VC some of my friends, and that can be pretty nice as well. Don't get me wrong. I guess I could maybe more accurately say I'm thankful for the ability to chat via voice with people, like over a long distance. Is that just, yeah, it do just hit sometimes. It do just be great like that. And it's funny because there's there's a number of people that really like texting, and I don't have anything against texting. I think that's pretty good, but it's nice to just hear someone's voice. And the thing is, you know, you can't exactly just replicate that. There's things that you miss when texting someone that you can only get from hearing their voice. Certain intonations, certain emphasis on what they're really trying to say. I know that like, oh, there's versions of this. Yeah, yeah, but that's again, that ain't the same. Like, you can't tell me it's the same. It's not, man. It's really not. Not the same as actually getting to hear someone's voice. And I feel like that's a lot of what's missing in our world. A lot of that just hearing someone talk, that face-to-face interaction. I mean, I've noticed from the analytics, and actually even just like someone who I know personally that actually watches my channel, crazy, right? Said that, it's kind of like a late night thing, and people apparently like the sound of my voice. I'm not 100% sure why, but, you know, I guess people can be as crazy as they want. I mean, like every good YouTuber, I don't like the sound of my own voice. What is that? That that Okay, hold on a sec. Do y'all see this? What is that? Why is the wall texture floating so far away from from my arm? Like that does not look right. Oh man. Making fun of Minecraft Bedrock now, just usual things. Um But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I like getting to read, but there's something nice. That's not a shulker. There's something nice about just getting to hear someone speak that again, you can't replicate that by any other means. And I'm very happy that we have this. I'm also happy that we have things like audiobooks. I mean, there's some people don't have the option to read. I know that there's some people that literally will commute 30 minutes to an hour to their job every day, and that's one way. That's an hour, 2 hours of their day is just spent commuting, and they'll listen to like audiobooks and whatever else on their way to and from work, and it's a way for them to still, get some version of, you know, getting information, but of course they don't have the time to read. And so that's a really nice way to be able to do that. And I'm glad that we have just I guess audio formats in general. Again, there's some variations, but the basic concept is there, right? And what amazes me too, with audiobooks obviously can be a little bit more interesting to listen to, but it amazes me just how much I'm able to remember even just listening to things. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube videos. There's a history podcast thing that I follow. I say history loosely because he also talks about, current events and how history relates to it. But it is it is nice to listen to that, but it's also amazing just how much I remember. Like there's so many things I've learned through the format that way that I just wouldn't have. I mean, I guess I could have read the same books as this guy and gotten there, but this was, being able to just kind of listen to it was the much faster way of getting the same information. Also, probably a little bit cheaper, not gonna lie, because, I didn't have to buy an entire book just to, just to, oops, get that same information. So mad respect to the guy for actually reading the books and presenting it to the everyday normal people like me so that I can actually, you know, get somewhere and learn something cool without it taking up a ton of my time and energy. I mean, that being said, I do like physical, media, physical reading media. In fact, that's probably what my next video should be about, is talking about reading and just kind of some of the benefits. And I guess while we're on the rabbit trail of audiobooks, I might as well mention, and podcasts, I might as well mention, like, there's a fair number of YouTube videos now that are sort of more meant to be listened to and played in the background than like I'm not saying, some of them aren't super well edited and stuff, but I'll be honest, I don't really care about the jump cuts and all the other fancy things. I'm like, I just want to hear what this person has to say with maybe a couple of specific visual examples so that I can maybe pick up on something really specific, but otherwise I'm like, meh, it doesn't really matter. I need to make more walls. I need to make more walls because I don't put enough around myself to stay sane. You heard nothing. You heard nothing. Just gonna move on now and pretend that didn't happen. Nah, but anyways, as I was saying, I don't really care for the jump cuts or the other things. I'd rather just listen to it through. So I think if someone's got a good idea, then it's actually it's worth listening to without all the hyper edit cuts of like, oh, we did this and then this and then this and then transition, transition, transition. Like, just if you got something good to say, I'm sure you can say it in a reasonable amount of time, you know, and it's not, it don't got to be super crazy. Again, I'm not. It doesn't have to be. There's so much of an emphasis on like visual stuff that I think people forget about. just simple audio. I mean, not necessarily. There is a lot of stuff online now that's like, ASMR content for, this, that, or the other. There's actually quite a lot of that out there. But still, there's a reason there's a reason it's popular. That's not okay. I do need to make more walls, but I need this first. Okay. It's just nice to listen to things sometimes and to not be as caught up in stuff. I also will say though, sometimes it's annoying when a person repeats themselves, and I feel like I'm getting to that point in my videos where I usually do, and I'm starting to repeat myself quite a bit. And in an effort to be respectful of your time and my own, I'm gonna probably call it right about here. But that being said, I do want to say thank you for watching. If you have comments about, a favorite phone call you had, or just something you learned while listening to it, rather than necessarily reading or seeing it, comment it down below. I'm curious to see what people pick up on and what they learn about. And just like last episode, where I ended a little unhinged, I'll say it again. I did not eat a phone